Filipino Huskar coming out from Amar the Filipino, of course. Gonna have to live up to that TI legacy that happened last time with the Huskar. So keen to see what happens. You know, it's a bit left field coming out there from OG. Gonna be interesting to see just how much they can get. Of course, we have seen Amar play that Huskar multiple times before. So they should know what to expect. You know, it's really aggressive. They've kind of kicked up the pace here on OG in comparison to that game one. So do you feel like the corrections here in draft are enough to kind of play this fast-paced game that Liquid has been bringing out?
This is still OG style draft, but it's a lot quicker and better in lanes. So I think they did a really good job. The interesting lane is probably going to be Huskar against Brood if they lane it like that. I'm not sure how that lane is going to go. Brood really wants to hit, but Huskar has a disarm, so that should be very, very interesting.
I wonder if there's level 1 team fight to come out. Looks like ATF is not interested whatsoever. Liquid, they might be more than happy to oblige with a level 1 team fight, but with OG's heroes, it doesn't seem like they've got the greatest level 1 team fight for now. Of course, we can get those Brood Mother stats. Not bad at all. I mean, 64.3 and 57.1%, 60% overall wins. You heard Chu talk about it as well. It's the one hero that frightens him just a little bit. It didn't react too much to it, but it is still very scary. And as you can see, Zai, 100% win rate overall here on the Brood.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic time with a lot of heroes. Like again, yesterday we saw his Enigma take its first loss. It was on a massive win streak as well for Liquid while he was on that. So Zai's just been kind of setting that pace. I'm more interested to see Boxy back on that Tusk because he had an amazing time. Although
Tiger tossed up, that's a good start. Mickey, he's going to try to run. Shards are out as well. Boxy, he's very good on this Tusk. We saw it yesterday. It's going to be a lot of damage out onto the Tiny, but nothing to write home about. In fact, they even denied off the banner in here with Yuragi. So in the end, how many banner runes did they actually pick up?
2 for 1. Nice 2-for-1 start in the favor of OG, so they're going to be feeling a little bit better going into those lanes. Just have a little bit more to play with as we do take a look at that mid. Mike up against BZM on the Ember. You mentioned this, Ellery, it's not the worst laning matchup, right? Like the Ember can kind of dance around this. Do you reckon that overall BZM should have a better time, or should it draw kind of close to even here?
I think some Leshrex can win this lane when they're an expert at this matchup, but overall it should be a free lane for Ember and Lesh. They should both farm, and it's a really, really good Ember game. So even if he would slightly lose the mid lane, I think OG is perfectly fine with it, since there's almost nothing to lock him down in the mid game.
Bot lane, damage being dealt to Matumba, but there's going to be no kind of jump in. Tiger, no angle here for the toss back into Amar, and it doesn't seem like he's more than happy to get fighting yet. Meanwhile, Boxy, a nice little creep pool going on here. Trying to reset the creep equilibrium on his side. Just let one creep through his bottom lane. ATF going to take a fair bit of damage, but is going to be okay in the end.
Yeah, he starts to drop low, and this is where the Bloodseeker starts to feel good. You don't have the Thirst up yet. We do have a lot of early damage and slow is coming out from the side of Liquid, whereas for OG, with a Huskar and a Tiny, it does feel like you need a lot of EXP, a lot of levels to really start to play here, doesn't it?
This bot lane is going to be very interesting, I think. If the Bloodseeker and CM get on top of this Huskar, they might just kill him. But if they don't kill this guy in time, and they get some tossbacks on CM with the disarms, it could go either way, I think. I'm not sure how this lane should go or what's going to happen.
Let's look at the top lane, perhaps. We haven't really talked about that one at all quite yet. You're going to have Boxy there on that. In fact, hold that thought. That's a lot of damage coming out onto the Tiny. We can have a look at the top lane, though. Boxy once again pulling a creep wave over. Misha unable to really slot down, but just try to get the aggro of the creep wave. Oh, he's got it as well. Very nice play from Misha, but what a great shards out from Boxy. In the meantime, Tiger does end up going down. I love the shards plays from Boxy. He's always got some kind of concept, some idea to try and get the advantage. And once again, we do see the pull work out in the end.
Yeah, they just get that EXP they need on Boxy, trying to get that build up, get the space they want for Zai. Yuragi, he can kind of twack away, but when you're in that field, when you're in the webs, Zai is not going to feel too scared of trading. He can always run up with Insatiable as well, especially if Misha's dragged away without anyone to stop the Brood. She can just kind of get on top of that NP if you're not careful.
Yuragi could be a fair bit of damage. He's just trapped up, standing his ground, trying to TP away, but the snowball is going to stun him up. Yuragi, he cannot make it out. It is going to be a very strong kill for the side of Liquid.
Very nicely done. This Brood is a lot stronger in lane now than what everyone's used to. With this insatiable hunger, getting a lot of buffs, and the more levels it gets in it, the harder it's going to be in this lane. You'd think it should be a chill lane for Friend, but they have a lot of kill potential.
Boxy, he never stops this bloke. Boxy's always going. Snowball not going to connect on Misha. They will still chase with Zai, but Misha is going to be okay. Getting a little bit greedier there with the Snowball from Boxy, and sadly for him, it does not touch the Snapfire.
Just trying to go for both targets, maybe shove Yuragi all the way back once more. Does give some room to go back for Misha, but it's all the way back to the base for him. Having to TP home, has to walk up with regen. You have that window for Liquid to still maintain that aggression up against OG here.
I think overall, it looks like a pretty good start for OG in the lane. The Ember is having a really good time mid. He's going more than even. He was doing a really good job on the first few waves. He really wants to get one water window. Looks like Liquid is not going to give it.
They certainly are not. Mickey does take it. How important do you think BZM's going to be here for the side of OG? Like, is he the guy that needs to create the space for Amar and Yuragi to kind of get that farm going? Or is it all on ATF to get that farm going? Does Yuragi just kind of join the team early?
I think this Ember will be making all the space. I think the Huskar and the Fern will be farming up. Fern will be ready to connect at any time. And this Ember has a really good game. So once he gets his level 4 in slide, I think he'll walk around the map with his supports and cause havoc.
Yeah, I think that's the big one for OG. You have a lot of aggression that can come out. In comparison to game 1 where you were farming a lot more, trying to get that build up on Lush, you're not as worried with Ember. You just need a couple of items up and you should be good. Although Amar kind of being surrounded.
He certainly is. That's a lot of damage out. ATF, he's going to drop. Mickey with a nice rotation as Yuragi top lane. Also going to go down. Once again, Liquid just dominating every single side lane of the map. We saw this last game as well. OG just off to a slower start.
Yeah, and that's a bit worrying. You have a bigger snowball start that can come out here from Liquid with this kind of draft. Right? You've got Boxy back on that Tusk. He's got some good timings to meet as the support, and considering how good his lane is, he's probably going to have a pretty decent enough blink timing in this game if he's just allowed to kind of have this impact. You already have Yuragi going into the jungle, so you're just ditching out that Broodmother lane, but considering the space for Zai, and that's a lot of utility that he can just build into here.
Yeah, Chu said he was a bit worried about the Brood. Now he's a little bit more worried, I think, from this start. But the good thing OG has, if they can get some good power runs on this Ember, he can probably shift towards the Brood lane, and the Furin doesn't have to sit there, because it's going to be very scary for Furin.
Yeah, it can be really annoying. We're already seeing him shoved away. He's really behind in CS as well here for Yuragi in comparison. You just have such a dominating lane coming out from Zai. They are still trying to poke and prod down bot. You mentioned not quite knowing what you'd expect from the Huskar Titan lane. Do you think this is what you were expecting though? Like Matumba is still kind of finding farm. ATF not really able to stop that too much.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of 50-50. They got a nice kill because Bloodseeker is getting a lot of speed from the other lanes. But I guess it didn't really snowball. I thought there was some snowball potential for OG if they got some good tossbacks, but it seems like the nukes from the CM and the Bloodseeker are enough to equalize the lane and just keep on farming.
Liquid, top 2 net worths on the board right now. BZ, or rather Valeshrak, Mickey, and Zai. So strong of a start. See what they do get going. Like you almost expect another side lane gank very, very soon from the side of Liquid. But now they are paying respect to OG. Mickey just getting his own farm up. No rush for him. Zai just completely controlling the top lane, as you do want to do on the Broodmother, and I imagine it's going to be quite a fast tier 1 tower to be taken here by this Brood. It doesn't feel like you've got the greatest ways of defending, though they are grouping up a bot lane. ATF in trouble once again as Matumba going to move in, but there's a split team fight going on. Top lane, another fight going on as well. ATF's going to be fine. It seems like Boxy's the one to drop up at top. BZM able to secure 1. Zai unable to secure the Snapfire kill. Instead, he will be forced to try and run away from BZM, but he's going to be just fine. OG, they do at least get a Tusk kill for their trouble.
Yeah, the more important thing is, now this tower would have already been dead if the Ember didn't go here. So he's going to slow down the Brood, and it makes a lot of space on the map. If this Brood gets his tower too quickly, he'll go to mid. He'll take over the entire map.
Shards. Gonna lock down Tiger once again. No way out, surely. He'll toss away. Matumba, he's got so much speed though, and Mickey really just there to make sure they can knock it out. Matumba Matt able to pick up another kill here on the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, you're feeling good in the blood. Matu's got a pretty free lane, Maelstrom being built up, Javelin already on hand. Bottom net worth of his own team in terms of cores, but he's pretty close to Zai and Mika's farm, which is almost kind of really out there. Just not contested, especially Zai outside of that rotation up top. 5-1 start. Liquid, I mean, you mentioned that push potential coming out here, Celery. Top tier 1 still stands, so OG is still managing to find farm. You mentioned a tempo coming out from BZM, though. He does have the over corrosion up, and it looks like he is going to the Maelstrom. Is that all he's going to need? They are clumping down bot, maybe for a bit of a shove in. Matu is alone.
Matu, Avalanche there. Cookie is there to follow up as well. The Bloodseeker, a massive pickup here for OG, and it seems like Matumbaman has no way out of this one. Very nice setup here from Tiger. ATF very happy to secure that kill.
Yeah, very nice map movement. They're not trying to fight on mid. It would be very, very hard to take a fight there. They instead just killed a carry, and they just gave this tower that Liquid brought a lot of heroes for. Liquid is not slowing down, though.
They certainly are not. Cookie away from Misha. Avalanche going to buy some space in the shards. Off the mark. Bit unusual here for Boxy to miss like that, as Misha might still run. Mickey in the end going to be able to close the gap though, so it won't matter. They will still secure the snap fight.
Even though Liquid is off to a very good start, OG is doing a good job splitting the map, just farming up their items, not worrying and trying to overreact. Ember deals with the Brood. Huskar and Furin farm their timings, and once his Huskar hits his armlet, I imagine they'll try to use that for the smoke and potentially into Roche if they get a pick-off close to it.
BZM, bit of harassment up top, but he's just kind of playing around with Zai here, just taking more Spiderlings away from the Brood Mother. Always has a Remnant to go back to, though Zai really wants to try and bully him and try and make him use that Remnant. But now he's going to be forced to back off as Tiger and Boxy both rotating up towards the top lane. So they are going to back their way out. The BZM going to move in. In fact, hold on a minute. They've got Insania on the CM, and Boxy also going to drop as well. OG able to find both supports here.
Yeah, they get some punishment. A bit of a forward foray coming out from the side of Liquid, trying to scout around, maybe drop some vision forward, and they do get punished. OG finding a little bit of a foothold, getting that build-up they'd want, especially on BZM, who is going to be kind of setting up and dealing with Broodmother's early timings with Maelstrom almost done. For the side of Liquid, and it does feel like they're also more than happy to just kind of farm a little bit here, though.
Yeah, they probably feel a little bit awkward about this Ember, because they really want to help their Brood and get this Ember out of there, but they just do not have the heroes to do it.
Tiger, mid lane, Avalanche will be out to try and dissuade them from going any further and work out in his favor. Back his way out just fine. And ATF around the corner just in case they need it. Speaking of ATF, his farm, it does feel like it's suffering quite a bit. In 4.3k net worth, he's got the armor up, so maybe he could try to fight with his team, but it's a little bit too far behind, I think. Well, OG, do you think they need to group up now and try to get these fights going, or is it okay for them to just sit back and maybe hit another kind of timing?
This Huskar hero is very tricky. Usually, if you don't know this hero that well like me, I think he has armlet, I guess it's time to go. But this hero is one of the quickest farmers with armlet. If he gets to just farm his triangle, just farm some camps. So Liquid does not want to let him just farm these camps. So if they can close down the map, then that should be really good for them. OG does want to use this Huskar at some point. Either let him farm a lot right now, or where he can move into the Roche. But it's looking pretty hard with how the map is set up.
Yeah, I mean, just the movement of Liquid. They've taken over the top jungle. They're starting to pressure onto mid. There's no real space for OG to farm. In fact, Taiga
gets caught out. Better than ATF getting caught out, though. He'll tank the gank here for the Huskar. ATF going to stick around. In fact, there is some rotations coming in. You've got Misha on the side. Just making sure they protect that tier 2 mid tower, as you do have a Leshrac and a Broodmother after all. You could take that tower very, very quickly if you are Liquid. But for now, they'll be satisfied with the Tiger kill.
Yeah, it's not the biggest in the world, but again, they're getting so much space out. They've taken over top jungle, the webs are all down, Zai can dance in and out there. Triangle, it's not somewhere that they have really gotten to. OG does have wards watching, but they're not also able to stack up as much and build the resources up for their own build-up. Right now, Yuragi's just kind of farming in the opposing triangle anyway, and just trying to avoid as much, but it's only him that can kind of go out there. Everyone else stuck with getting what they can from the creep waves right now.
Yeah, the OG cores are not suffering too much. They're doing a really good job. One hero that's really not having a nice time is this Tiny. He's very, very low level. Getting up this blink is going to be near impossible. There's nowhere for him to farm at all.
Tumble, bottom lane, gonna move in. ATF, he'll cop the rupture. He's kind of forced to man fight this one out, but there's surely no way. He will try with the life break, but it's gonna be nowhere near enough. Mickey able to secure the kill. More rotations, BZM chains out, Matumba, he's a big one, and they will find him. The Bloodseeker is going to drop as OG, looking for a bit more. With the Mortimer's Kisses, they'll find Insania on that Crystal Maiden. That'll be a second as Boxy now, trying to TP up at the chains with the toss-in, is going to work out in the favor of OG. It's Liquid, they do find one, but they give up 3.
Yeah, that's a huge swing coming out from OG. Seeing that opportunity to punish, still having that TP point to play with, and just managing to know that Matu is really vulnerable there. Doesn't have Rupture to threaten with. His teammates all kind of use their spells as well. They've got the opportunity to push off the back of it. There was a bit of a split push going up top from Zai, but not as fast as what OG's accomplishing down bot. And this does open up the map a little bit more to get some more gold flowing their way.
That was a very cool move they did. They pick off the Huskar, and Liquid felt very safe after that. The Bloodseeker is just farming the lane, but OG is just ready. They're not afraid. Their Huskar died, but they're just there. Snap did not even have 6 yet. He gets 6 from that kill. That's super good for the comeback for them.
Mid lane, Mickey, all alone right now. They're going to move in. That's a lot of damage coming out with the snowball. It's going to buy a bit of time. Mickey going to try and turn here, but there's surely not enough damage. He will drop. Matumba going to try and punish. Misha is down. How far can you go? They find another. BZM, he does take down Boxy, and it's going to be another successful team fight the way of OG.
This Ember is popping off right now. He's getting all the kills. He's involved in all the fights. And they just have no stuns to kill him yet. It's going to be quite hard for them to deal with him.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it does feel like a fairly free Ember game here. And every single time that BZM just shows up, it doesn't feel like they can handle him. Maybe you could try to Rupture to threaten, doesn't feel the best against the Ember, and your supports are gonna have to try to focus in on that highly mobile target, maybe try to set up for Mike. And again, it's not an easy task. Even game on the kill board, 9-9, it does feel like Liquid, they've managed to drop a little bit of some momentum. OG, they are starting to ramp up off the back of BZM. He's got travels up. He's ready to just be all over the map.
That's a very cool build. You don't see that very often nowadays.
BZM, speaking of the devil, does get caught out. Bloodright is there. He might be gone, and he will be. Oh, that's a bit of a caster's curse there from you two. That wasn't my fault. I'm out of this one.
Frostbite just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, and that's the one hold, right? If one of the supports can be on top and you've got some sort of follow-up, you've got the space to kind of get that done. With that kill, Liquid straight into Roshan here as well, popping everything to take out that objective. OG not quite in the position to contest without that Ember.
Yeah, that's a massive kill for them. It's true, the Frostbite can still control the Ember. If the Ember has any fight and any vision, he will have free reign. But this was amazing. The pickup was next to Roche. They get to take the Roche, and now they should be able to control. They need to deal with the lanes first. They shouldn't go on the enemy jungle yet. Just push out the lanes and potentially group up again after that.
That's where the Nature's Prophet really shines. Yuragi is just applying some pressure, trying to force movement along.
Nice shots out. They're going to find Tiger on the Tiny. They'll try to toss away Boxy, but it won't make a difference. Tiger's still caught and will drop.
1,000 of your kind.
Very interesting build by the Furion as well. He went the drums first and then a Mage Slayer.
Under attack.
Yeah, it does feel like he's focusing more on maybe just trying to split push control into a Bloodtorn for some more damage output later on, and just mitigate whatever Liquid might want to pump out here, and maybe instead relying on the damage coming out from Amar, coming out from BZM with a Huskar and the Ember, and just kind of play more of a secondary role, buying out space and map, eating up that split push when he can, and just slowly but surely ramping up those resources for down the line. It does feel like this kind of build might not show as much in the middle of these rotations, though.
Oh, Misha, wrong place, wrong time. He's going to get caught out, and the Spiderlings will get to work, though. That is a lot of damage coming up. BZM just stealing all the Spiderlings away is now Boxy still trying, but they will eventually find him. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Zai needed to back off earlier on as he just didn't want to deal with the whole side of OG, so it's just going to be a support for a support trade.
Interesting. Taiga is not even trying to go for the blink. He was getting somewhat close, but he just opted to buy a Veil instead and fully play around the Ember, not commit his hero too deep in the fight.
Yeah, I think they realize they've got enough jump in.
They just got some.
Yeah.
Try to save. One HP. Finishing, guys. Fast. I was standing again in 3 seconds. Oh, bloody. They just got some.
He did use the Bloodstone. That was a very good call.
Very true.
Radiant
We'll smoke up.
scanning.
Liquid. In they go. Boxy, he'll frontline. ATF. This is a big one. The Husker in trouble. Snowball will be there. The Split Earth is out as well, and ATF is just gonna melt. No chance of survival for ATF.
They get a big one. Didn't even manage to armor the toggle. Good chain stuns coming out from the side of Liquid, and because of that kill, they have the security to force onto an objective. They've still got Aegis for 2.5 minutes here as well, but they're not even playing around with Mika. Just having Matu stand up front with the protection of his BKB and force OG to kind of make a choice. They're clumping around here, but it doesn't feel like they might be. They could find a clear angle if they're not careful.
Yeah, you talked about the Furn splitting a lot. The Lesh adjusted his build a bit. He had the overclock first, but he went for the travels to deal with the splitting.
Liquid, still grouped up. Mid lane BZM, Tiger, Nisha, they're all there. Shard's gonna give it a bit of vision. Dropshot immediately out onto the Ember, but he's just fine to back his way out. Tiger and Misha still hanging around, but outside of vision. Instead, they find Yuragi on that Prophet, but the cookie away is gonna be enough as Tiger makes the jump in onto Foxy, but Foxy, he'll jump right back in onto that Tiny. It should be a 1-for-1, but they still haven't got that Tiny down yet. In fact, now they do, and they found Yuragi on the Nature's Prophet. They even found Misha. Matumba, he loves these kind of team fights. Everyone just dropping low. He can rush forward every single time. And OG, they're still not ready with the Husker.
The big thing for Liquid there as well is that Matu doesn't have to pop the BKB in these fights. He has a fresh 9-second charge just not being utilized because he doesn't need it. So the next time around, if OG wants to re-engage, they have a huge window where Matu is just going to feel too big. You're not going to be able to touch him. The Ember's damage is not going to be there. And Liquid, they just see all these opportunities. They're taking this map on really well. They've got a 5K lead up. We are seeing Amar kind of try to use the space to farm up, working towards the BKB. But
I think they spotted them with the daytime.
Uh-oh, ATF, he does get caught, and he's gonna get taken out. So close yet so far. Liquid, they are looking very strong now. 5K advantage, 17-11, and we yet to see this Husker work.
yeah, the impact just isn't quite there. He's still busy kind of trying to farm up. You mentioned Celery, you know, once the armlet's up, maybe you're much more willing to fight. You just go back to going back farm. And again, that unfortunate timing on spotting out in the vision for the side of OG, but very fortunate for Liquid finding the punishment. For Amar, where do you go from here? Is it really just the BKB? Is that it? As they look for more.
They are going to look for more top lane. Tiger is going to get caught. Matumba able to pick up his 4th kill. As in they go mid lane. Misha trying to cookie in. BZM, he'll join the fray, but can you actually fight this? It doesn't feel like it. Boxy's too tanky. Zai, he'll keep chasing, but BZM will run it away. Still, they continue the chase. The slow is there. BZM, how do you juke your way out of this one? He'll just run south. He has a remnant north. Liquid, they're going for tier 3 towers. They know how strong they are right now.
The Ember is still having a great time, but Liquid realizes it's only the Ember. They do not have to be afraid of these other 2 cores yet. They didn't hit any timings. And this Ember cannot 1v5. He's not big enough. Liquid is really high network from all their 3 cores.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
What's the condition now for OG? I mean, Liquid have been playing fantastic, but for OG, how do they hold? They're going for a smoke play. Is it pickoffs they need as they look?
Yeah, speaking of pickoffs, Foxy, gonna go in with the snowball. A nice blood ride set up from Matumba. Does he want to fight this one? He got the silence onto BZM, so they might be able to afford to try it. In fact, that stun's out as well. He bashes the perfect time into the Split Earth, but it's not right on time. Very close from Mickey. Great attempt. At least for OG, they do get away with the support kills. Now, Mickey, pretty deep, does get caught out, is getting blocked as well by the Treants. Will still move back in onto Tiger. They'll find the Tiny. In they go onto Yuragi. Through the BKB, they've got the Rupture. Yuragi surely can't find his way out. He'll get bashed up. Into Misha they go now. Liquid, they won't keep going. ATF does show up. A buyback will be expended as BZM does at least find Insania and Tiger. He'll get back into the game, but this buyback, it doesn't feel like it amounts to much.
The tricky thing is, getting back into the game is quite hard right now. They really want some skirmish fights and some pickups, but the Tiny doesn't have a blink, so they don't have any toss back potential. The Huskar is getting closer to his BKB, so they might just have to try to wait for it. He might have a little bit of space to farm it right now, but Liquid is not slowing down, so they might just take back the map very soon once Lesh's BKB is ready again.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's any big reason for Liquid to back off. They've managed to force out some buybacks. They haven't really taken any objectives just yet as well. The high ground still does stand, so you still have a lot to go for in these lanes. Maybe wait out the security of next Roshan. Only a few seconds left until we see that respawn timer, though.
Yeah, Zai's still very, very confident. He will lose the Spiderlings. BZM even picking up a Battle Fury now, just really trying to abuse the Sleight of Fist against those Spiderlings. You can see how easily he clears them up now. I suppose the Battle Fury build very effective as well for the high ground defense.
And now they have a nice comeback potential. If all these spiders are stacked with the heroes, he just gets a rampage in one slide.
I mean, they're going to have to clump up pretty tight, but, you know, in a tight spot like the high ground, of course, could be a possibility coming out there for OG. Really good switch out from BZM. How about the other heroes, though? Like, you mentioned it's only really BZM having that good time. Anything else you'd like to see out from, say, Uragi? ATF, obviously, BKB, no?
Like, again, he's been focused so much in this game. They do not want to give the Tiny a game whatsoever. Tiger's still trying to bum up the Blink, but just can't get anywhere near us. Now Misha is also getting caught and just taken down. Both supports once again gone for the side of OG, and Roshan's up.
That's the big one.
Like we're just taking over the map, taking the second Roche now, which is going to be a big timing. Huskar will have his BKB ready after that, but it's going to be hard for him to get impact even with this BKB. If they realize he has his BKB now, they will just rupture him in the fight, and if they kite him a bit, his BKB will just go off without being able to do a lot.
Yeah, and you've got, again, that second Roche with a shard ready to go here for Liquid. So they could look for the high ground play now. You can see all the Spiderlings scurrying around on the mini-map, just getting some vision out as they collapse onto the mid. And for OG, I mean, this high ground hold, it feels really difficult. Like, you can clear the creep wave. BZM has to play an insane game. And maybe eventually, as you mentioned here, Celery, if they do get a blink up on the Tiny, there's some counterplay there, along with the BKB, of course, Audemars being freshly built up.
They've been doing a good job splitting the map, so they're not falling behind that far on their course. The big trouble is this Tiny just never going to have his blink. But if they can hold long enough with this Ember Battle Fury, and the Fury gets more items up, this hero does scale really well.
OG only being given a 10% chance here to win out this game by Dota Plus. A very rough affair. Liquid 90% at the moment. You can certainly agree with those stats. I mean, with the Aegis up, it doesn't feel like they've been contested for so long now, and Zai is keeping tabs. OG are smoked up. They will find the Broodmother. That's how they'll get started. They haven't got so much damage yet, though. Zai, he's actually quite tanky. Now BZM, he does avoid with the Remnant, but they've got another target. It's going to be Tiger, who does get ruptured up, and once again is going to drop. It's just so hard because it feels like Tiger, he wants that blink up to be able to find some kind of toss back and make a comeback happen, but they are not giving him any breathing room.
He's just had a rough time, right? Like, ever since going for that Veil, just trying to amp up the damage coming through, it's just completely counteracted by the pipe and that Wraith Pack coming out from Zai. High ground doesn't take too long here, too.
Liquid is not going to give them any space to breathe. Just force everyone at least back in base, and potentially just commit on this. They have really big timings right now. They have the Aegis. They got everything they need.
Here we go, Liquid onto the high ground once again. The tier 3 tower not going to last very long, so the Tumblr's just hitting so hard along with the Leshrac, but a nice cookie. No, it's not going to land. Tiger still with the avalanche toss is there. Mickey falling low, but has the Bloodstone. Will take down the Tiny once again as Uragi. Boxy in the back line is at least going to drop, so it might force Liquid to reset and come back another day. They still almost have 3 minutes of the Aegis up, so they can afford to do this and just wait out their task. Maybe not. BZM, he does get caught on the Ember. He is gone. Oh boy.
Oh man. No buyback out in BZM either. So they can just, again, go back here, multi-objectives from Liquid's end, and they have a full minute where they don't have to worry about their creep wave being cleared out, but they don't have to worry about the Ember just kind of looking for that back line, these softer targets, and just try to melt them away. You do still have the chance for Uragi to kind of, you know, go to a lane and try to work it into OG's favor, but it's tough.
Bottom lane, in we go again. Okay, it's traveled in. Bottom racks, under siege. They'll force the cliff now. OG, been very patient with trying to force a fight, but they've got to get it done sometime soon. Got it.
It's gonna be very rough to hold on to this right now. I think Liquid might even force for the third side right now. They still have this Aegis. They don't have to wait for anything.
Rupture is there onto ATF, just making it hard for him to even think about jumping in. Now, mid-tier 3 tower under siege. Liquid just so calmly taking these structures, knowing the advantage they have. 17k, Aegis up for another minute and a half. OG, they're going to try and fight now. They'll start with Mickey, try to find the first life, but the Wraith Pack is going to be out. It is denied off by Misha. Liquid, they are not backing though. They want to keep going. Mickey just so confident, but may lose the first life now. No, in fact, never mind. 4-staff will be there. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think the one bright side here for OG is that they didn't have to kind of expand anything or lose anything here, but you're at the point where even just going outside your own base is very annoying. Full Ags up on Zai. These little traps are just going to give a lot of information out and just make it so hard for OG to try to make something happen. Say if they wanted to smoke outside, it gets a lot tougher with just getting trapped up in the middle.
Yeah, this Lash picked up the Hex as well now. He has the Blink Hex. And the Ember realized he is the one that is having the free game. He cannot go too defensive. So he doesn't have anything for this Hex or for a Silence. So this might be getting close to the end if this Lash can get a good jump.
Oh, there it is. They jump in. Cookie was there. BZM! Oh, he was the one caught out. Matumba, he keeps bashing on command. BZM, he's down for 90 seconds. Minute and a half without buyback available on the Ember. This could be it. He doesn't have the gold right now. Liquid, there'll be 2 Raxes up. OG, they are trying to split push the best they possibly can, but the creeps are still in their base. In fact, never mind. Backdoor will kick in. Liquid, they won't have the time to go up to the tier 3 yet, but Amar trying to fight Mickey. Has he gone too far? ATF, he's going to fight Boxy. Onto Mickey they go. They might have the Lash Rack, and they do. OG, they'll find another bit Matumba. He got the Rupture off. He does pick off ATF. He's got the Husker down, and now the Bash is coming out again. Yuragi, he cannot escape Matumba, man.
It's so difficult for OG. I mean, they're trying to make space. This is what they need to do. Try to stall out, force the back door to kick back in, but they don't manage to hold it. The creep wave comes back in. They lose some very big heroes, and they don't have a solution. Buybacks are ready on the respawn of BZM, though.
They've got to try something. OG. We'll see the buyback up from Yuragi. That's going to be enough for them to back off. Rather Liquid, that is. Could immediately just out of there.
Tyga's trying to make some magic happen. He got rid of his veil to pick up the Blink now after all. And this is what they need. With some potential, good tossbacks, they still have a chance. You always have a chance until the game is over. So you just gotta keep your head high, keep trying.
Yeah, look for that opportunity to drag someone away. You've got the damage follow through to play with anyway. It does feel like your investments here onto Amar, onto BZM can pay off now. Like they do have some good right click on hand. For Liquid, I mean, your 2 racks is up. You've taken the tier 3 top. Do you reckon you try to force something here, or do you just wait for Aegis once more?
I think first of all, you don't want to give too much space to OG, so potentially just do a move to take back the top side of the map. They already have a nice ward there. And if they do get any pickoff, they can just insta-go to the base. Maybe they feel strong enough, they don't even have to wait. They can just go right now, get a good team fight.
They've got to be careful. Liquid moving up. They're already in. Mickey, he's right out onto the support. In fact, BZM, he barely avoids the stun, but Misha's already gone. ATF gets shredded here by Matumba as Yuragi. Is he going to get out? Just barely. No bashes for Matumba. But there's 2 down. Amar does not have buyback available. There is only 1 lane of barracks left in Liquid. They're going right for it.
Just nothing to stop them. BZM, he's got to dance around here really hard, but not even the tossback potential's at play. No buybacks available. Respawns are short, though.
Oh, BZM, he's been sniped by Stop. This could be it. Liquid, they'll take him down. He has the buyback. He's going to commit it, surely. They'll hold for now. Hoping Liquid may back off, but Liquid, they're looking for those tier 4 towers. Such a dominant series so far for Liquid. OG, they've got 1 last chance. They'll wait for ATF to respawn first. Gladiators, but they've held down Misha. Once again, the Snapfire is going to melt. No buyback available. Yuragi now getting caught in front of his fountain, but they'll move back towards the T4s. They'll see ATF moving in on this Husker, trying to find a way, but Zai's making it so darn hard to close the gap. In fact, he's even TPing towards the CM, trying to find at least Insania, but the Glimmer Cape, they don't have the detection. Instead, they go onto Zai on the Broodmother, but Zai, he'll man up. There's the disarm out from ATF. Meanwhile, on the side, BZM, he's going to drop to Matumba Man. Zai still running, just can't get caught. They'll toss him in. ATF still trying his hardest, but it's not looking good. It seems like Liquid, they might have this series in the bag. There's 4 down. GG's called. GG is called. Liquid, they've done it once again, this time 2-0 against OG. And OG, I mean, they're a fan favorite here at TI-11, but Liquid proving to be way too strong here today.
They played really well, synchronized so well.